Hi friends, it's your girl Harpo. Welcome to this episode of Brown Girl Guild titled Boy Who Cracked My Heart Wide Open. The following are excerpts from my journal over the course of several months. These journal entries are from a time that I was deeply romantically engaged with someone. I've titled this episode Boy Who Cracked My Heart Wide Open because that's what he came into my life for, to crack my heart wide open. Though this was one of the hardest initiations I've ever been through and one of the toughest experiences of attachment, I'm so incredibly grateful for it. And I'm so incredibly grateful for him. This clarity and openness that I have about this incredibly tough experience is actually the result of me seeing this experience as a spiritual initiation. I was incredibly present and open during this exchange, which lasted several months. And it was a wild time, y'all. I learned a lot about my own anxious attachment style. This man came into my life and immediately triggered the anxious attachment style that I had built as a 4-year-old when my dad, who was my primary caregiver for the first couple of years of my life, started to drive long haul truck. This switch from consistent love to inconsistent love bore a very fragmented, unstable, rocky relationship with intimacy, love, and connection for me. I now recognize that this man was sent into my life to help me become deeply aware of this and heal it as best as possible. So, yes, these journal entries are inconsistent and all over the place, and some of them are really sad. And some of them I read back and I think, wow, like, I can't believe that's what I was going through. But they're a very raw, potent glimpse into the grueling process of healing core childhood wounding, something that is most often triggered by the romantic partners and entanglements that we choose. And I use the word choose on purpose. We come down from the heavens into this earth having chosen the people who we're going to interact with, who are going to bring things out of us. I have a lot of love, respect, and admiration for the Harpo who consistently kept her heart open during this tumultuous time. There were so many people in my life who were like, why are you doing this? Why are you going through this? Like, you should let go. You should give up. And the entire time, there was just this voice inside my heart that was saying, no, stay in it, stay open. We're doing this for us. We're doing this for the little girl. I also have a lot of love, respect, and admiration for the boy God chose as the catalyst for my healing. And so, as you listen to my journal excerpts, I want you to remember that I have that love, respect, and admiration for him. And I'm incredibly grateful for him. I want you to remember also the following lessons. Number one, nothing is permanent, and everything, literally everything in life is temporary. Number two, people's actions have more to do with them and less to do with us. And the more we keep our hearts open to that, the more we realize that the way that people treat us and also the way that we treat people has everything to do with our own history. It has nothing to do with our actual engagement with them. Number three, we are all just walking each other back home. And if we started to see all of our relationships, all of our experiences from this perspective, we would inevitably have our hearts more open more often. And lastly, there are only two choices in life, love or fear. And every experience that we experience is a question. Do you want to choose love or do you want to choose fear? And I chose love every single time. As you're listening to these excerpts, I chose love every single time. So here we go. He's not very tall. That's interesting for me. And he doesn't have a soccer body. He's skinnier than usual, and I guess that's okay. He's come into my life like a storm, like a wild tornado, or maybe a hurricane. God knows I cry a lot, so it's probably a hurricane. Yeah. He helped heal my daddy issues. There, I said it. He came in and cracked my heart wide open. Every time he denied me, rejected me, left me, I went back to that little girl sitting at the top of the staircase, clenching onto the railing, wondering when daddy was going to come home. I could cry just thinking about it right now. Every time he denied me, rejected me, left me, he helped heal me. He hurt me, yes. He pained me, yes. He killed me, yes. But he healed me also. It kind of feels like God sends you people to shake up your life. Have you ever taken a binder or a duotang or a filing cabinet and just flipped it upside down and you just shake and shake until everything inside comes flying out? It's all a mess and everything's on the floor now and you're shaking your head and your hair's a mess, you're agitated and you're mad and you're trying to cleanse and clear and it's loud and you're frantic. You just can't find your fucking calculator or eraser. You just keep shaking and shaking and shaking and maybe you just pull your hair out a little bit. He was like that. Actually, God was like that. God did that. God said, this bitch's heart is closed. Let's open it up. And he did. Ooh, he did. Holy shit, he did. He took the edges of tiny ropes, tied a little knot, and pulled as hard as he could until the seams of my heart ripped apart. This boy, he opened my heart. It's not that I was in love with him. He just opened my heart. I don't know how to describe it. He just opened my heart. I told him I missed him. I told him I wanted more. Girls like me, we don't do that shit. We don't tell men we miss them. We don't tell them we want more. We don't open ourselves and our hearts like that. We don't climb over shut doors. We don't know how to tell a man to stay. We don't know how to say all the things we were never allowed to say. With him, I did. I saw a tenderness in him. I saw past the facade. I saw his 4-year-old. I just couldn't see past his 4-year-old. Every time he denied me, rejected me, left me, I was a 4-year-old. And he taught me unconditional love. The edges of my heart ceased to exist because of how wide they had to be stretched to hold both my 4-year-old and his. Miriam Husna says, true love is not painful. It is the disillusionment of what is false on our journey to the highest love that can be painful. And then Lauryn Hill says, love is an incredible thing. And we don't know love like we should. We always talk about, I have unconditional love. Unconditional love is, we don't even know it because if a person stops stimulating us, we stop loving them. I wasn't in love with him. And dear God, I wish I could have been. But he did teach me love. He taught me love. His light illuminated for me all the parts where I still had barriers to love. He was inspiring, you know? Do you know? Have you ever been deeply inspired by someone? He inspired me so much, you know? I don't know if he knows. Hey, you, I hope you know. I hope you know that you cracked my heart wide open. You made me love myself in ways that no one ever did, no one ever has, and I hope someone could. You made my body shake and my voice tremble and my hands were always sweaty and my insides were always quivering. I was afraid of you so many times. I was nervous and uneasy and on edge so many times. You reminded me of the safety that I never had, and you reminded me of the safety that I could have had. And yet, all I wish to do is run my fingers through your wild hair. I woke up a woman after all of this, a woman who knows, a woman who is sure, a woman who feels deeply and feels everything. I just couldn't hold space before. I couldn't love like this before. I wasn't in love with you. Dear God, I wish I could have been. And you cracked my heart wide open. I think we have to be able to be grateful for the relationships and relations God sends us. The Kabbalah says that we all come to this world in human bodies with our own unique spiritual baggage. Maybe mine was that I'm not good enough. And so, God, you continue to send me men I can test this theory with. This dear boy was one of them. I felt deeply inadequate the whole time. And why wouldn't I? My heart was being ripped open the whole time. I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think I could keep up. I didn't think I was interesting enough or cool enough or pretty enough or smart enough or important enough. important enough. I didn't feel important enough. And I just want to be of value to him. I just want to add value to his life. I have all this advice that I would give him. And when I read powerful books and listen to profound podcasts, all I want to do is share them with him. But I don't, because, bro, that's so despo. That's so desperate. I chose myself every single time. And I know this because my therapist told me so. He said, Harpo, I see you and see no signs of self-abandon. I tell him, I'm so deeply afraid that I was self-abandoning the whole time. I see now that I wasn't self-abandoning. I was just self-regulating. I didn't grow up with a lot of safety. And so I've made a home in chaotic men. I've made a home in men who don't like me back. I've made a home in men who are not present and here. I've made a home of men who are always one step in and one step out. I'm still that little girl at the top of the staircase, clenching onto the railing, wondering when daddy was going to come home. I just don't have a blueprint. A love blueprint. I'm building it at the age 26 and 27 and 28. I just didn't have one before. I'm afraid of being a dumb bitch. I don't know. It's funny and hilarious and silly and true. I'd die before I was ever classified a dumb bitch. And honestly, most days he makes me feel like a dumb bitch. And I fucking hate being like a dumb bitch. He's sexy, confident, honest, real, funny, charming, integrous, godly. Still very afraid though. He sins. He becomes insecure. He cares too much about the haters, wants to be seen. He loves his mom, which I really like actually. He's sensitive. He loves love. And he's creative. He can't dance and he's quite scrawny. He makes dumbass faces and his hair is always a mess, but it all works. I guess I love how I feel about myself around him too. I hate admitting this because it's so anti-feminist of me or something, but I actually felt more beautiful because of how beautiful he would always say I was. And this is so not part of my brand. I can't even believe I'm writing this down. How has he been treating me? Like a boy. It's not okay. He's not very forthcoming in his affection. I think I will miss him forever. Like that line from the Lana Del Rey song when she says, think I'll miss you forever. Like the stars miss the sun in the morning sky. But I don't want a life like that, like the one of my parents, I deserve more. I deserve different. I need to choose me. I won't choose him if he's like this. I won't do it. It'll hurt, and choosing myself will be very hard. I haven't seen it modeled to me in romantic love before, but I can do it. I will do it. Self-blame says, I did something to push him away. Fear of rejection says, I'm not good enough for him. Pessimism says, things never work out for me. The other shoe always drops. Self-judgment says, what makes you think this was going to work or be a good thing anyway? Fawning says, if I just be perfect, maybe he'll like me back. Anxiety says, he's never going to come back. But love is a river, Harpo. No dams in this river. And we're in the business of removing all the barriers to love that we've set up. So let's fucking go. Let's correct this shit right here, right now. So, to self-blame, I say, I accept myself in my totality. To fear of rejection, I say, the right person will love all of me. To pessimism, I say, I believe that good things in love happen for me because I am deserving. To self-judgment, I say, I always get what I want. To fawning, I say, I am free and safe to express my needs with love, care, and kindness. To anxiety, I say, I do not have to fight for someone to love me and to stay. Bell Hooks tells us that to love is to extend oneself for the spiritual growth of another. I've done that. I've given a lot of that. Love is not conditional, but love does not ask us to abandon ourselves. We rise in love, not fall. Rise in love. Rise. Still rise. Despite all of it, rise. Rise like the tide. Pull back. Gain momentum and rise. I believe that about life. I believe that about God. I don't think God abandons. God doesn't leave any of his children behind. I don't deserve inconsistent love. I never have. And inconsistent love was never my fault. It's still not my fault. When did we stop being compassionate towards women who are just seeking love because they didn't have it consistently to begin with? What's true for me? I'm afraid. I'm afraid I'll push him away. I'm afraid I'm not good enough. I'm afraid he won't like me. I'm afraid I've made a mistake. I just don't like being treated this way. I feel angry. I feel sad. I feel hurt, upset, unhappy. He's being mean. He's being unreasonable. I'm making it all mean something about me. I attribute my calmness, assuredness to surrender, to trust, to faith, to knowing. Even if this ends, it doesn't end. The knowing continues. He doesn't have to call me back. I mean, I'd like him to, but he might not, and that's okay. This is trust. This is full surrender. This is an open heart. My dearest Harpo, I'm sorry I'm abandoning you. I'm sorry that I'm putting you down. I'm sorry I'm being to you what others have been to you. I love you. You're so special and important. You just want to be loved. I won't treat you the way he's treating you. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. I won't treat you the way he's treating you. Whoa. How I see you and treat you is how I allow him and them, all of them, to treat you. I won't do that to you. So what are you afraid of, Harpo? What's the resistance? When someone that wrong, like somebody that wrong rejects me, it means something about me. How can they be that wrong and still reject me? I feel worthless. It feels dehumanizing. It means I'm bad. Accepting that someone doesn't want me, someone like him doesn't want me, makes me think and feel that I am bad. I'm giving him so much power to dictate who I am, right? It's like I'm seeing myself through his eyes. I've personified him as God. God sees me as bad. I feel wounded and rejected by God because why would God do this to me? Why would God keep putting me through all of this pain? And so it's not that he's bad. He's not bad. He's just not able. Maybe this is just a lesson that I have to learn. He doesn't like me. He doesn't want me. I'm not important to him. I do not matter to him. He does not care about me. He does not value me. He does not consider me. He does not give a fuck about me. He does not respect me. He does not love me. He does not think about me. He does not value me. And there's so much peace and freedom in just accepting all of this. It feels worse when I can't accept this because I'm trying to manipulate the reality and create something that isn't actually true. But when I come into this knowing that I'm just nothing to him, there's actually a kind of freedom. I have the light of a million stars inside of me. I really do. I rise every day. I rise every time I fall. And I fall often. But I never make a home out of the rise or the fall. None of this is permanent. So what? There will be another. He'll be great. He'll be lovely. He'll be spectacular. Or he won't. Isn't my life already beautiful and perfect? I attracted him into my life for my own growth, expansion, and healing. My soul literally asked for this. Indifference is a beautiful spiritual practice. Detachment is what it builds and breeds. And I'm so real. I'm so real. I'm literally real, you know? And life goes on. We think that the best has passed us, but it hasn't. It's here in the here and now. It's to come. It's to have hope. I hope. I will continue to love. I will continue to be open. I will not shut the doors of my heart. I will not build up walls. I will continue to be here. I've always been here. I've always been here.